This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Come on, join the gang. It's fun. Everybody is doing it. How the hell is everybody? You're everybody. My name is Peter G. I want to thank you for joining Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing, we are for another thrilled, fun-packed adventure. Got a great show for you tonight, but I hope everybody's doing well. Every week I say that because I really do mean it. I was having a conversation with a friend this morning, and she was saying to me, I know you're doing a lot of edgy stuff that makes some people angry because they disagree with you, Peter, but I hope that you're, still sticking to your you care about people format, which is the basis, the foundation of this whole show. Regardless of what I say, I bring a lot of things to people's attention, and I've also learned you can't please everybody, but it's all about you, the people. I like people, always have. That's why I got into entertainment years ago, playing music. I truly enjoy. I was going to be a brain surgeon, but then I go, anybody can do that. You go to school, do your job, you become a doctor, you become a brain surgeon. Now, being a musician and making it in music, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. It's not for the wicked. I mean, the lighthearted. It's tough. But I knew that I liked doing something that made people happy. And in transition of all this, getting into this show, it's the same thing. Regardless of what we talk about, even when we talk about some hard stuff, some tragic stuff, it's to help bring it to you to understand that, hey, you're not alone. It's not just you going through these things. It's that person over there who thinks it's only them. It's that person over there across half the world thinking it's just why me, why me. I get it. That's why I wanted to do it, because I came to the realization it's not just why you or why me. We've all gone through it. All gone through it. It's really pretty normal. Sucks, but it's pretty normal. Life isn't always a bowl of cherries. And so I bring it to you because I care, regardless of the topics that I bring to the show. A lot of you, especially now in the times, I've been doing a lot of current events because there's a lot of current events going on daily. Our country is, things are changing rapidly. Could have gone either direction. And it depends who you ask as to which direction is the right direction. Well, I'm here to just bring it to you. And I do. And I get heavily criticized. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Well, let's go a little lighthearted. Did anybody catch that fight last Friday with Tyson and what's his face? Paul, whatever. Anybody see that fight? Now, if anybody missed it, don't worry, because this is why I'm here. I brought you just a quick highlight. I mean, this was just like, I didn't want to bring too much because then we might as well watch the whole fight. But this was just a little tidbit of this action-packed thriller from what was going on last Friday with Mike Tyson on that exhibition fight. So here, check it out. Unfortunately, that's all the clip we have, but it was right before it was starting to get really good. But just, just wanted to bring that, just in case you missed that fight last Friday? Something like that. Yeah. See, that's the problem. I got a whole week, and the day after the show, there's things that are coming up going, God, I wish we could talk about that right now. And I have to wait until today, Wednesday. Why? Because Wednesday is Life with Peter G live. Now, you can watch the show anytime you want after, it's on demand, over 400 shows. But when we go live, this is what I got to do. And I'm waiting all week to bring all this information to you. Some good, some not so good. It's all for you to decide. But anyway, we do have a great show for you tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about this country still because it's important. It's really important. Just because things are changing doesn't mean it's nothing's over. There's a lot of turmoil going on. A lot of people are butthurt. It just sucks. And because there's so much indecisiveness, so much, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I got a great show. I do. And tonight I'm going to talk about the people you trust in the news have been lying to you. Excuse me. The people you trust in the news, your news anchors, journalists, not me. I'm an entertainment talk show host. I bring you things, but I'm never going to claim to be a journalist. I'm an entertainment. I just do things because I want to do them because I feel it's important. But the people you trust in news, your CNNs, your ABCs, CBSs, MSNBCs, even Fox, you name it, Sky News, BBC, whatever, majority of them have been lying to you. And this is why we are in the shape that we are in. This is why the division that we have going on in life in our country and halfway around the world as well, it's all over the place. There's all kinds of things going on that they're never going to tell you because they have a narrative, but they've been lying to you. And I'll show you about that later on in the show and maybe even take a call or two and get your opinion on it. Again, I can't get everybody. I don't care if you don't agree with me, but I'm going to bring it to your attention. I just want you to keep it in your head because sometimes it takes a little further to get down the road and all of a sudden a bell will go off. The light turns on. And it's like, you might be onto something. But we're going to talk about that. Then I'm also going to talk tonight about my beloved California that is just one day at a time going to shit. Our governor is just coming up with more and more cockamamie ideas, and they're all lining their pockets, him and his buddies, with all these different taxes and administrations and committees, and it's doing everything great for them and nothing for the people in California. And we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to show you a few things about it, and then you can decide about that too. And also, I want to talk and touch on censorship because it's happening every single day, and I can prove it and show you. But even to the biggest of the big. And again, we might take a few phone calls, but that's what I'm going to do. In the meantime, real quick, I managed to catch, somebody sent me a clip. Kamala is now looking for a new job because she's not going to be vice president anymore. And I thought I'd share it with you because I thought it was kind of interesting. What goes on in people's lives once you start changing careers and things like that, and how it works, because we all know if you've had to go looking for a job, things are a little bit different nowadays. Doesn't matter. You could have these high credentials, but if they're not hiring, it's like, what are you going to do? There's people, Hollywood is going to hell. There's producers and directors delivering DoorDash because they're losing their houses because they haven't been able to work because Hollywood and production is down 40%. And it doesn't look like it's going to get too much better. Whole nother show. There's this one guy I want to get on the show that talks all about that stuff, and he's just blowing me off. I think I don't know what can I say. Again, you can't please everybody. Really want to get him on the show, but either way. So here's Kamala. She's been looking for a new gig. She's it's time to start shopping before you don't want to wait till the last minute. So check this out, and I'll be right back.
Hello, can I please speak to Parminder Singh? Hello, my friend, how are you? Look, listen, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I need your management position over at the Dunkin' Donuts. Am I calling 7-Eleven? I'd like to speak to the manager, please. Hi, is this Mr... Oh, you're also Parminder Singh. What are you guys, Italian cousins? Oh, you are cousins. No thing, I'm overly qualified. Yes. And when they come in and they get their lottery tickets, take it and go. Take it and go. Take it and go. Yes, take it and go. My mother would be proud. Yes. Hello, Pecking House. I don't have a lot of experience with that, but, I can't do the register. I can do that job. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Well, this is looking hopeful. Wait, so I can... Look, I speak your language. Any sauce, soy duck hot? You want a shrimp fried rice? Small, medium, large? Lunch a special or a combination? Yeah, you want a wonton soup? You want a wonton soup? See, I do that real good. How much y'all gonna pay me? Cause, I need to rake up $20 million real quick. $3.25 an hour. Are you out of your kung pao mind? You're useless, but hey, don't forget my hot sauce and my wontons. Can I pay you tomorrow? Is this the We Get High All the Time smoke shop on the corner of West and 2nd? Wagwan, my brother. Listen, I'm actually who you supposed to be thanking for legalizing marijuana, but I need a job. How do I become a distributor? Because I need me some real money. I'm in a bumbleclat situation. Hello?
See, she's hard at it. I was looking at something, sorry. I got so much stuff down below me. I need a producer again. Getting sidetracked. It's too much stuff, but at least she's working at it. So I got to give her credit. She's on the phones, hitting those phones hard. You don't get if you don't try. So just thought I'd bring that to your attention. I also forgot, I want to tell you, next week, it's Thanksgiving Eve. Thanksgiving Eve, I have Baltimore's own homeless whisperer, Pastor Ray Pollitt's going to be on this show. I normally talk to him about once a year. You got to have a special gift to do what he does. And there's many people like that, but not a whole lot. And he takes care of the homeless. Yeah, I mean, they're out there in the snow, living in tents and on the streets and things like that. And he somehow, helps them to stay warm. And a lot of these people got drug addictions and they don't take care of themselves. And, just go figure. And Pastor Ray Pollitt is out there, hitting the streets and in the woods and going places that a lot of people wouldn't go to try to take care of these people, because at the end of the day, they're just human beings and they all have a story. And we're going to talk to him. Baltimore's own homeless whisperer, Pastor Ray Pollitt's going to be on this show Wednesday, November 27th. That's Thanksgiving Eve, right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. So you're not going to want to miss that. He's a real special guy. We've talked to him several times, and he's even got it. Everybody has a story, but I mean, God bless him for what he does. And he's a giver. He gives and doesn't really ask for anything in return. He's coming on this show. I want to talk to him. That's it for there. All right, look, reminder. Now I'm going to get into it later in a little bit. Subscribe, please. Please go to YouTube, hit my YouTube channel and subscribe. They are throttling me back. It is so pathetic what they're doing. They just won't let me be seen. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes also after the commercial break. They're killing me. TikTok, They pull down my videos. They do it not just to me. They do it to a lot of people, but it's hard. Freedom of speech is not there yet. They're going to revive all this stuff. But in the meantime, I need you to help me follow, share, subscribe on the official Facebook Peter G channel, official YouTube Peter G channel, LinkedIn. I don't know. There's 3 or 4 other ones. We're on 11 different video platforms. Also, I appreciate you watching, but I know a lot of people are busy. But when you're on the road, put an earbud in your ear, Google Peter G Show podcast. Take the show on the road with you. You can listen to the audio version. The audio version does very well. But people like audio podcasts. I mean, you can listen to it while you're working. Work is boring. While you're exercising, while you're commuting to work, to and from, all the above. Whatever you're doing, you can be listening. And there's over 400 shows to kind of pick what topic you want to talk about. You want to stay current with us? Okay, great. Then stay current. But some days you're just driving to work and you want to listen to, believe me, you'll have a long time before you catch up on all the shows. A lot of them are really, really, really good. I mean, there's a lot of information out of everything. Entertainment with a purpose. But that's where that's at. And also the live official Facebook page. I don't know what's going on. I know we're live right now on the official Facebook Peter G Show page. But after the show is over, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, it has not been saving the show to the page. And we're having to reload the show afterwards, which sucks because all the people that were on it that may have commented and all that kind of stuff gets lost. And I hate it. And I'm sorry. We can't figure it out. I don't know if it's Facebook doing this. Something's going on with Facebook, between Facebook and the system we use. I don't know. The only way we try to fix it is we have to be live. So we tried something else tonight. If it doesn't work again, we'll try something else next week. Sorry, but at least you can watch the show live, and you can watch it on demand on any of the Facebook pages, YouTube, LinkedIn, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey. Again, there's a bunch of places. You Google Peter G Show, you'll find everything. And then some. All the short clips during the week. Great stuff. A lot of confusion with my short clips, but some people, they just, they see a little piece and they make judgment for the whole thing. And sometimes you really need to watch the whole show to get the big picture. It's that simple. But we're going to talk about that stuff anyway. One last thing today, I wanted to put this in. I don't know if you're following the news, but when they sentenced the illegal immigrant who murdered Laken Riley today. What's his name? Jose Ibar. Yeah. He got life in prison, which to me is too good. Too good for what he did to that poor girl and all the people. That it's not just her, but this was a high profile case, and it should be. He murdered a girl jogging on her college campus, bashed her head in with a rock and raped her. I mean, it sickens me. That could be your daughter. You can't get him back. But they sentenced him to life in prison, which maybe he won't make it through prison, but who knows? We got to straighten this stuff out. And believe me, new sheriff in town, folks, we're going to straighten it out. You'll be thanking, everybody later, even if you're pissed off about what you think is going to be bad for you. We'll see. Time will tell. And I'm telling you, you'll be glad. Who doesn't want to be safe in their own neighborhoods, towns, cities, states? Why? It's the most ridiculous thing. If you say we don't want to feel safe in our own communities. Anyway. All right, look, I'm going to be right back. Right after this brief message from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver, because let's face it, it makes sense to save money.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. Clean Star Products with the DX1 driver. 2 words. It works. I use it myself. Notice the difference within about 3 or 4 tanks of DX1 driver. It's real simple. You put one of these little bitty bottles into a clean oil change. Lasts the whole oil change. So what's that, like 5,000 miles or more, depending on what kind of car you drive? Some oil changes are 10,000 miles on Mercedes and things like that. Then every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these little bottles into your tank with fuel. That's it. Real simple. Before long, you're starting to feel the difference. Your engine's running better. You can feel the difference when you step on the pedal. Start getting better gas mileage. I noticed that as well. But listen, don't believe me. I want you to go to www.cleanstarproducts, their website, www.cleanstarproducts, and there's a phone number there. You need to call that phone number. I want you to call. The reason I want you to call is because they'll answer all your questions personally to you. You don't have to send emails and wait to get an email back and all that. Call. They will talk to you personally and answer whatever question. I mean, I had doubts. I had, no doubt. I go, what kind of, is this snake oil? And it's like, I found out, you know what? It actually works. And they're very proud of their product. And the reason I want you to call is because I want you to say, hey, I saw this on the Peter G Show. And when you order, should you like to order to try this DX1 driver, and you mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show, they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. That's right, folks. The deal's a deal. Times are hard. Take advantage of it. Mention you saw it on the Peter G Show, and they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. Just call that number at www.cleanstarproducts.com and speak to them. Again, they know what I do, and they still sponsor me. But more importantly, they have a product that works, and they're really proud of their product. And I can't blame them because it actually works. I got to admit, I was skeptical, but it does. All righty. That's I got a lot of stuff to get to tonight, and I want to take a couple of phone calls too, hopefully, but we'll see. No comments tonight. Is everybody awake? Hello? No comments. Say hi. Tell me where you're from. If you got any comments, make a comment. But you got to comment on the official Facebook Peter G Show page. You got to comment on the official YouTube page or the official LinkedIn Peter G Show page. The only way I can see them live. And I'll see if I can answer them. That's it. All right, here we go. No. Woo. Smooth. All right. Yeah, baby. So let's start with this. Over the past few weeks, I've been talking a lot about the term brainwashed, being brainwashed. It's a concept that nobody wants to believe. Actually, some people believe it. Some people believe that it can be done. I believe it can be done. I never used to believe it could be done. But when you're walking around and you talk to enough people in life and you start seeing the stuff that's coming out of their mouths because they're repeating what they're seeing from television, you understand that they are being conditioned and brainwashed. I mean, it's just a harsher word of, you're being influenced. It's that simple. But brainwashed. But in my doing so, I'm saying this stuff and talking about this stuff in hopes that it will help you pay attention more to not suck it all in and take everything with a grain of salt and do a little bit more than just believe everything you're watching on TV. I tell you all the time, don't even believe me. Go do a little homework. If I'm telling you something, if I show you a video of somebody showing you something, it's really easy, man. It's computer age. My daughter, when she's sitting next to me and I'm looking at something for her car or this and that, because I recently was doing something for her, she's already on her phone getting the answers while I'm still stumbling trying to find the answers. Kids nowadays, they're just fast. You damn kids. I mean, sometimes she's like, Dad, you're too slow. It's like, all right. I'm not in a hurry. But either way. So in my doing so, talking about these things, I've caught a lot of backlash from it, from people who are just pissed off. A lot of people are butthurt, and they don't want to hear. If you don't agree with them, you just get out of their life. It's like, you suck. if you don't agree with them. And that's the shameful part. And that's where I start knowing it's like, because some of the short clips that people have been watching has been about being brainwashed, but it's kind of vague. And I didn't intentionally mean it that way, but the clips don't talk like whose side I'm on, like who I'm saying, like is the left brainwashed or is the right brainwashed? So then they come in, they go, you're damn right, they're brainwashed. All those, all those Trumpers and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody will comment and he goes, he's talking about you, dumbass. But again, it's all about perception and how you interpret things. But at the end of the day, though, I catch a lot of shit for this. But I make no apologies, okay? Because I'm doing it to try to poke these people that are just have blinders on. And you don't know who you are because you're brainwashed or, you're influenced. You've bought into what they've sold you on TV from these trusted journalists on the news who can't be trusted. I'm going to show you. But either way, I've caught a lot of crap for this. But I will not like you because you disagree with me. And even the name calling, I get called a lot of names. But I'm okay with that. I'm way past that. You're pissed. I get it. You're pissed off because, what the hell do I know? I'm not saying I know. I just keep bringing things out there for you to examine, observe, and take in. You make up your own decisions. If you decide to stay on your path towards that Titanic, in my beliefs, God bless you. And if you were a friend of mine, you're still my friend. We just don't agree on that. So we don't talk about it as much. But this is a show, and this is what I do during this show. And while I'm doing this show, this is what I'm talking about for this particular show or another show or whatever. Get it? So for those of you who, and then you got the people who can't stand me and they watch every single week just so they could stick a needle in with a nasty comment or something like that. And what does it say about you? Do I call you names? Believe me, some of you I want to because you deserve it. But majority of the people are just confused. I mean, you're just depending. I mean, we used to depend on the news to deliver us information so we can know what's going on in and around us and in the world, for that matter. Now it's like we're like state-run television. It's just disgraceful. It's horrible. But this is what's going on, and this is our world. And all I'm saying is, I'm doing what I'm doing, and if it doesn't float your boat, nobody's twisting your arm to keep watching. I would like you to keep watching because, again, I'm not holding grudges. A lot of people I love, I'm going, oh my God, I wish I could just take you and just shake you or hug you and like stop the nonsense. Every time there's the news fear mongers you. They just pump fear. Your Social Security is going to get taken away and this and that. It's like, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Stop worrying about shit that hasn't happened. And stop believing everything you're seeing just because somebody makes a meme or a post, that I can easily make, in 2 minutes and put it up there and say, they're getting ready to paint the sky yellow. The orange man's going to do it because he doesn't like blue. Stop. All right. With that being said, I am going to keep on going, but this is the biggest problem I'm having. My censorship. I talked about censorship quite a bit. And again, they're going to fix all this fake news and they're going to start straightening out people already. Even Morning Joe, that whore. I'm going to play some stuff on him. He's changing his tune because it ain't working. But it's not working. But this is ridiculous, and I know they're squishing me. I mean, I could put up something on YouTube. YouTube kills me anyway. They make it so hard for me to be seen on YouTube. They just change my algorithm and they throttle me down. And God bless the people that can see me and that do pay attention. But there's plenty out there that need to see me and they can't because it's YouTube killing me. And I just saw from Joe Rogan, who has got to be one of the biggest podcasters out there, period. And he started after me, but he's Joe Rogan. And his show is basically the same thing. It's even a little bit rougher. I mean, they don't really worry about being too smooth. But he's got, he gets great guests because he's Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. I mean, for being able to do what he does. But he's complaining he's being censored. And he's the biggest of the big. And I see him talking about the old Jabberini at times and stuff like that. If I dare say it in full form and talk about it for more than about 10 seconds, that show's coming down. They're going to block me. They've done it. They still keep digging into 2020 and 2021 to this day. About 3 weeks ago, they're still taking down shows of mine that mention anything about that whole fiasco. They don't want you to know. They call it misinformation. What they really mean is they don't want you to know that it was all orchestrated. Sadly, they all ought to go to prison. No. Anyway, but Joe Rogan is complaining about censorship with who else? Elon Musk. Here,
something weird with the Trump interview that I did.
Yeah,
where you couldn't find it.
It doesn't make sense.
It made no sense.
I mean, it was like the biggest interview on earth.
Yeah,
and you can't find it.
Yeah. Not only that, it wasn't trending.
Bullshit.
It wasn't trending.
It wasn't trending.
No, it wasn't trending.
You're like, there's just no excuse for that, man.
No excuse.
There's no excuse.
It was getting 1 million views. What was it? 1.4 an hour at one point in time. 1.5 an hour.
Yeah.
And it wasn't trending.
Yeah. And it's like your channel is a known channel. It's not like it was started yesterday. It's like
yeah.
It's like this is a high trust. Yours is a high trust channel. It's like you're not trying to sell scam crypto coins or something, you know.
So long story short, he has Trump on a few weeks ago before the election. I'm sure most of you have heard about it. If you haven't, okay. Joe Rogan had Donald Trump on his podcast. That podcast hit 50 million viewers within 3 days. 50 million viewers in 3 days. I mean, 50 million viewers in 3 days. That had to be breaking some records. But he's claiming that it wasn't on YouTube under trending. You know, the thing was so popular, but if they want to keep you down, even they kept him down and he got over 50 million views because he's Joe Rogan. It's hard. People go looking for him. Me, not so much. It's still a hard climb to the top. But, you know, it's the way it goes. You just got to keep going. So he's complaining about censorship. Never mind the little guy, me. I'm getting squashed. I don't have that kind of clout. Now, granted, like I said, he's been on TV for years, decades, really. Fear Factor, comedy. So he's been in this genre. And now he goes and does, you know, he left California, moved to Austin. He used to live not very far from me, too. I was hoping that when he lived close to me, I could have possibly got him on my show or got on his show, one or the other. Now he's in Austin. Good luck. But either way, he's got a great show. They talk about everything. That's conversation, what I love to have. Conversation, not really interviews. It's just, yes, while we're having these conversations, we're learning about things you may not know. A lot of things you may not know. 3-hour conversations. But either way, they're throttling him down. So again, I don't stand a chance against the big corporation, YouTube. These guys, I don't stand a chance. They do what they want to me. And the reason I know is because I'll put something up and it'll go 4 or 5 days and there's 0 or 1 views. How is that possible? Even by default. How can you have 10,000 views or something on one thing and then get 1 or 2? And this goes on lately because I'm talking about this stuff. They don't want you talking about this stuff. They want to keep it down. They want you to only talk about things that they prefer you to talk about. And it sucks. Pisses me off. But we're going to change all that. But anyway, so please, please, please support, okay? Support. Now I want to talk about our news anchors, the people that we used to trust. Hold on. Oh. Got a lot of things to go. Can't help it though. I need to explain these things. We used to trust all these news anchors and this and that. Now I've been having, if those of you who follow, I've been having lots of issues with MSNBC because I can't stand Morning Joe, and what the hell's the other dude's name? Only reason because I just felt that they're outright liars. You know, it's like this little girl right here I can't stand because I know he's a news whore. He'll say whatever he needs to say to be on TV, and he'll whatever he needs to say so to get paid, Mr. She Her. And then I'm just realizing this. It shows you how much I care. His anchor, his co-host, is his wife, Mika. They're on every morning. They both, okay? So they're in bed together. so they whatever they do, whatever it takes, they'll say whatever they have to say. But you believe them because you trust them. And I've always been like, man, this guy says one thing one day, Joe Biden is sharp as a tack. You know, he's better than he's ever been. And he's even swore and said, well, screw you if you don't believe it. He's better than he's ever been. And then a week later, it's like, oh, he's not capable of running the country and we got to get rid of him. How do you do that? I don't know. I would never have the balls to do that. I'm going, this doesn't make sense. How do I? Kamala Harris, the same thing. There's tons of clips. And this is the beauty of being on video all the time. You could hold it against people, even me. You can hold everything I say against me. I'll apologize to you if I'm wrong. But all that, Kamala Harris, when she was VP, she's the worst VP in history, in U.S. history. And then all of a sudden, she becomes the greatest thing since sliced bread to be the nominee for president. How do you do that? Where does it make sense? This is what I'm having a problem with some of you. Help me to understand that so I can agree with you. But so far, I'm going, you got to get your head checked or get your head out of the TV and quit believing these jackasses. And this one, too. Rachel Maddow, Mr. He, Him. This dude, they'll say anything. They'll say anything for money. And I told you, I've said it many times, I've been questioned before. Peter, if they gave you enough money to do this or do that, would you do it? My answer is, it depends what it is. If I don't agree with it, if I think it's just like what these people are doing, no way. I'll just, I've been poor, I'll stay poor. But to do anything for money. And it's just sad. And here's a perfect example. I'm going to prove it now. These people have been at war with the Orange Man for the past 4 years, 8 years, actually. Because they used to be friends. Everybody loved the Donald. Then I don't know. Rumor has it that he wanted to be in his cabinet, and he didn't hire him. And all of a sudden, but either way, and now he's the bad man, the Orange Man, the bad man. And now these people, what are they doing? They're kissing his ass. Let's watch this video, and then we'll talk some more about it.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him. Hyperbole and personal attacks will not work. My hair on fire doesn't work. We've all seen that. What also does not work is threatening political opponents with arrest, harassment, and even jail. That is a failed path. Recent history has proven that impeachments and trials turn those on trial into political martyrs and only make them more popular with the American people. Just ask Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. We know this will be a consequential presidency. The question is whether it will be constructive. It will take a new approach from all sides, from both parties, and a leader who can bring them together. And only time will tell if Donald Trump is that leader.
Do you know why they are turning the cheek now and saying, "Hey, we've tried to impeach him, and then we've run him through courts, and it only makes him more popular." It doesn't make him more popular just because they're doing all that stuff to him. It makes him more popular because they're doing all that stuff to him that he doesn't deserve, because it's all made up bullshit, because they didn't want him to run for office. He's a threat to them. You can believe it all you want. He's a felon. I got some friends, well, acquaintances, people, and they just nasty writing me back. People that I know, and I really want to say go pound sand, but I don't. Because they're so far gone in this belief of hating the orange man. That's all that matters, is hate the orange man. Anything but the orange man. We rather, and they're proving the point right now. They have bashed and bashed and bashed. And let me tell you something. CNN is for sale. CNN has been tanking for the past 2.5 years because they're talking crap. It's all made up stuff. And people, not everybody, I wish, people are not buying it anymore. They are purposely dividing us. They want to keep us all in tatters. So that way we can't be strong enough to tell them that this shit has to stop. CNN's for sale, and I got news for you. We're strong enough now. The people have voted, and this is what we're doing. This shit is going to stop. And it's going to be aggressive change, a necessary change, and that's what the people are asking for. And he's going to get free speech back in where it belongs, the First Amendment. And there's some people but they're never going to go down without a fight. They're going to fear-monger you and scare tactics all the way to the bitter end. All these next few years, they're never going to stop. Some. But you got guys like Morning Joe who, like, their ratings. So CNN's for sale. MSNBC is going down in flames as well. Their ratings are down. They're next to go for sale. They're next. And these little whores, news whores, are in fear that they're not going to have a job. They're not going to have a job because bashing Trump isn't working anymore. It just isn't working anymore because the people have spoken. 71 or 72 million people want the orange man to straighten things out. What do they know that you don't? What, they're all crazy? All I can say is we'll see. But you see this ought to prove it to you. What happened to if he was Hitler? They called him Hitler. And now they go to have lunch with the guy. Joe Biden had lunch with him last week. Hitler? There's no more fear. All of a sudden, like he's going to destroy democracy. Haven't heard that in 2 weeks, have we? Is it coming? Do you get it? Not all. Some of you. The ones, the diehards, they say, "Oh, screw you, Peter. You're a moron." Yeah, I'm a moron. Your favorite news people that feed you all this bullshit are flip-flopping. And what do you think they're flip-flopping for? Because it was all a lie. He really isn't a bad guy. But it wasn't on the agenda that they were getting paid for to produce and promote. So now these people went down there and everybody started calling it Kiss the Ring. Because they want to have jobs. That's how friggin' two-faced they are. They don't want to go down with the ship. They will do anything. They'll go on any street corner and whore themselves out so they can still be what they are. They're not journalists, folks. They don't belong on a news channel. They're propagandists. That's all it is. Paid advertising. So if you don't believe me, like I said, here's I don't really like her that much, but here's Nikki Haley. She's got a few words to say about it.
Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough tore me up when I said anything about voting for Donald Trump or what I agreed with him on, even though I criticized him when I thought he was wrong. I praised him when I thought he was good. They tore me up. But the truth is, it's not that they suddenly saw the light. It's they saw the ratings.
That's right.
I mean, let's be clear. They saw the ratings tank and they realized, oh, we better get on with Donald Trump or else we're not going to have a show.
Correctamundo. They're not going to have a show. So now they go to kiss his ass and say, we're sorry. And then they write some bullshit script they got to read to make it sound like, but see, by right, as a journalist, they should be talking to Donald Trump. They should be. They should be covering the news and not making opinions. They should be able to cover the news and let you make the opinion. But these people just tell you. They tell you. And it's been working. It worked. They almost got away with a lot of things. COVID, all that stuff. They almost got away with a lot of this stuff. But thank God, enough people woke up. And then more joined in. And this is what I'm trying to do. Just trying to reach a few more people. Some people, some men, you just can't reach. And you got to let them go. Go. Believe all you want. Just stick to that Titanic. Let me know how it works out. I don't care. And I still won't not like you because you're probably a good person. Everybody's got a different level of weakness. Even though you think you're a mastermind, I don't think I'm a mastermind. I flat out tell you, I just happen to be onto this stuff. I caught on. I too, only maybe more than 8 years ago now, was not believing what I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you, because I've realized I was that guy too. Until it finally kicked in due to a few friends dripping on me, and little by little, I just kept one eye open. I didn't just go with the flow. And they were right. They were right. And that's why I'm here. Don't mention it. But we, the people, voted for aggressive change because what's going on has not been working. We got some guy who steals women's luggage at airports who's in charge of nuclear waste. You got Rear Admiral Rachel Levine, this dude in charge of health. He looks like the most unhealthiest person in the world. And we got to respect him for his transgender identity or whatever. But it's like, who cares? I don't care. I want qualified people, not just people voted in, or not even voted in. They weren't voted in. People appointed for diversity. Diversity. It doesn't make sense. So that shit has come to a halt. Things are getting ready to change. New sheriff in town. Again, I was just talking about the murder of Lake and Riley, this migrant stuff. They're making you fear like they're going for everybody's grandmothers and things like that. Stop it. They're not. But they are going to go for these gang members from Venezuela that are in 14 different states already and growing. Again, it doesn't matter until something happens to you or your family. Then you're going to be worried. Then it's going to matter. Why do we have to wait until shit gets way out of control? But they're going to change all that. Unfortunately, it's such a friggin' mess. It's not going to happen overnight, but they're going for it. They're getting every aggressive person that's dedicated to the Orange Man for the cause that we all believe in. We the people. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But the people have spoken. And I'm going to let them have their shot at it because believe me, they're going to be watched by everybody. And I'm sure they're going to be criticized by everybody. So I know that they're going to be on their toes to bring what they promised to fruition. And that's it. I was a Democrat, so don't give me no shit. I was. But that stuff has gone off the rails. They're crazy. This AOC, she can go, pound sand too. These idiots, how they got into office with their ridiculous ideas, and it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Common sense. I'm all about that. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not independent or libertarian. I'm all about the common sense. It's real simple. Common sense. This is it. This is one more Orange Man thing for taking office. Then this is what, again, common sense. It don't make sense. Here you go.
I've never understood this thing where people that are either Democrats or on the left say, no, out of spite, we shouldn't work with Trump on things that we agree with him on, like anti-war. Why? Why not take the win? Take the win, right? So if Trump agrees with me on something, I'm not going to fight him just because he's Trump or on the other team. That's crazy.
It is crazy. But you're so fixated on hating him that even if he has the cure for cancer, you're going to say, oh, hell no. And this is where it's just asinine. It doesn't make sense. The man wants to stop these wars, and he probably knows, he says he can, because I know he knows what's going on. We don't. We're just ants. being told what's going on, which isn't the true stories. He wants to stop these wars, and you're going to have everybody fighting them. But so instead, let's just keep on giving billions and billions and billions of dollars, and people are getting killed in the hundreds of thousands over there, and they're never going to win a war. They're never. In fact, we're getting closer to World War III. You got to give this guy and let him go in and do what he does. We didn't put him in office to be a pansy. I don't care if he's rough around the edges. He understands what it takes. These people who are so scared of tariffs. I got a neighbor. I love my neighbor very much. But she's buying another car right now. And she's like, I got to go get it before the tariffs. And I don't say anything because I love her. And I'm not going to change her mind. At this point, it is what it is. But I wanted to explain to her, do you realize, especially she was buying a Chevy. And I said, do you realize, I'm thinking in my head, that car is probably made here. Unless it's made in Mexico, I'm not sure. But a tariff, they're going to threaten to put tariffs. Tariffs are a leveraging tool. China doesn't want all these tariffs. Do you know that Biden, the only thing he didn't overturn from Trump when he took office 4 years ago, he didn't overturn all the tariffs that Trump put on. We still have those in place. If they're so bad, why didn't he do that instead of opening up the border and killing us with illegal immigrants and all that money going out the door? And now our cities are getting flooded and they can't even handle it. But he didn't overturn all those the tariffs that he put into place when he was in office. Because they're working. And Trump knows it's a leveraging tool. He's going to threaten to put tariffs, and he may even put them on for a little while. But they don't want that. So they're going to just obey or say, okay, we're going to build a factory here in the United States. We're going to make the products here in the United States. Give people jobs. But they've put the fear into you. They just fear. It's ridiculous. I can't believe nobody has commented tonight, which is fine. I know I got the greatest bunch of lurkers. Love to watch. Not even a hello. Hey, Peter. Peter, you suck. We love you. Whatever. Whatever. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. These news people, this is my final thing with the news. Hey, if you want to call in, if you want to comment about the news, what do you think? Do you think that these, I'll leave it open for 3 minutes. If I don't get a phone call within the first 3 minutes, I will, I'll move on to the next topic. How's that? 3 minutes. 818-259-7983. If you want to talk about whether you think the news is real or fake, or you think I'm crazy and you think that Morning Joe, really has his act together and tells you the truth, and all these NBC, CNNs and MSDNC, as they put it, if it's real or not. 818-259-7983, right here. But again, we put this guy in office because the people have had enough. I think it's pretty simple. It's real simple. If it was so bad, we're just sick of what happened over these 4 years. And for the chosen little few of you, and I mean little, that are going to write me and tell me how great of a year you've had, tell that to the people who are just struggling day by day to eat. Tell that to them. Because I talk to a lot of people and nobody's happy. But yet, even the ones, there's a lot of them that aren't happy, still hate the Orange Man because you watch TV. And I get it. That's what we used to do. That's what we knew and trusted. 818-259-7983. And it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. But we hired them. We're going to get some aggressive people in there to do their jobs. We're going to rewrite the way the three-letter agencies are working, the corruptness and the FBI's, the DOJ, all these things. We're going to limit government. Government has grown so big. So big. Everybody's getting paid to do nothing. And it's not helping us, we the people, at all. Except spend all that money that we don't have. We're in debt. We don't have to be the number one power in the world. We could easily fall backwards. Let me tell you something. China invades Taiwan, we're stuck. Taiwan makes all our chips, all our silicone chips for cars, for computers, for this and that. We're screwed. We're screwed. We need him in there because all these world leaders know that the orange man means business. I mean, I don't care if they say he's crazy. He's crazy like a fox. 818, last call. 818-259-7983. Let me know if you think that Morning Joe's a great TV news journalist and his wife and the other one, Rachel Maddow, that dude. Because, again, tape doesn't lie. You can easily find all these tapes of him saying that Kamala sucks. All of a sudden, Kamala's the best. Joe is as sharp as a tack. Joe is incompetent and something's wrong. He's got to go. All these things within months. That just to show they'll read and say anything. I couldn't do that. I'm going to go, what? They're never going to believe me. A lot of you guys do believe him, though. But most people don't. All right. I'm going to take it off. Here you go. So we'll move on. Gone. I want to talk about California. I live in California, and I got to tell you, we have a governor that is making... Hang on a second. This one's going to get me. One more. Oh. Look, I love California. I love the weather. It's just nice. That's what you pay for. I always say you pay for the weather. We pay for the weather here. But it's getting unbearable financially. And every tax they can come up with, it's just they're driving people out of here in herds. And it's shameful because it's a beautiful state. There's so much variety from Northern California to Southern California. It's such, and it's all coastal. And I mean, you couldn't ask for too much more, but they're killing it. Gavin Newsom, our piece of crap, slithery snake. He's the one who was going and eating in expensive French restaurants while he was mandating everybody stayed home and wore masks. That guy, that guy that they caught on video having a dinner party, at the French Laundry or whatever the hell it was called, having these extravagant dinners, and nobody had masks on. It was all bullshit. They scared us to death. But behind closed doors, they're all doing different things. I got a lot of people still believe. I go to the stores now. I still see people wearing masks. And again, back to some men you just can't reach. Some people will come around, and I'll never do it again. I'll tell you that much. Never do it again. And I think a lot of people are like that. But anyway, so Gavin Newsom, he is killing us with taxes. We got a new gas tax. I think I mentioned it previously, but we got gas tax. We got all kinds of things going on. But he makes a paycheck of about $200 and something thousand a year. And I know his wife does something too. She makes a lot of money also. But they just bought a really expensive house, and we're going to talk about that. But the first thing, I've harped on this for a while, because a couple of years ago when everybody was getting unemployment checks during COVID and all that, they lost like $11 billion to fraud. People in jail were frauding California, the state of California, getting unemployment checks. They can't find the money. The money's just gone. I mean, just white collar crime. $11 billion out of California. And now, again, I've talked about this before. I'm going to say it again. Now $20 billion had gone to trying to help and solve the homeless problem. And it's not solved. It's grown. And $20 billion has been spent. And they just really can't account to where did it all go and what did it do? Don't believe me? Here you go.
Imagine losing $20 billion. Well, that's exactly what's happening in California right now under Governor Gavin Newsom's watch. Now, this was a program that started about 5 years ago to help fight homelessness. And guess what? Well, they've spent $20 billion and homelessness has actually increased. And when audited and asked where this money was spent, this is what they had to say.
What's the money been spent on? LACH is working on finalizing its HAP annual report and hope to have that published in short order. Why is it taking 3 years to get data? The system was implemented in 2021. You're talking about what happened in those 2 years. A lot of that is grantees using a data system they've never used before, getting used to it, getting substantial technical assistance, us getting back bad data, needing to go have further conversations, and then needing to go work on cleaning up that data.
Now, this just doesn't seem fair, because if we had to show the government where we correctly spent the money and we weren't able to do so, we'd go to jail. But guess what? These politicians and these people in power continue to get away with the mismanagement of our tax-paying money. When are we going to hold these people accountable? It just doesn't seem like a fair system.
It's not a fair system. It's not fair at all. And we just deal with it. You know, what are you going to do? This is a prime example as what has been going on in this country. That's just our state. But he's one of the worst. He's one of the worst because, again, he's totally in on destroying whatever he's doing to California. If he runs for president in 2028, which they keep saying he is, but I mean, because the Democrats got no candidates. Nobody like you can say like, wow, that he'd be really great. Because I'd be in if he was really great. But Newsom, Nancy Pelosi's nephew, has killed California, and he's going to do the rest and just transfer it to the rest of the country as well, if we let him. But he's ruined it. And $20 billion. This state is richer than most countries, and it's broke because they're just killing it. Here, new gas tax coming up at the first of the year, folks. Over here, they want to raise the gas 65 to 85 cents more a gallon for this CARB committee because they're trying to force everybody out of gas engine automobiles. And I'm telling you, I've had it. It's coming up. But here, don't believe me. This is a guy on this AM Los Angeles news station on KFI.
And they scheduled this meeting 2 days after the election. Now, I haven't seen a final count, but I'm sure the Democrats in this state have a big margin. So they're not in danger of suffering any backlash that matters. They're not going to get voted out of office. They were all just voted into office. The news media barely covered this story. In fact, I looked this week. There's been no stories on it for the last 3 days. We've talked about it here many times. We're going to keep talking about it. So at least you, for listening, when you see the price suddenly go up to $5.50 a gallon, you're going to say, oh, I remember that. Yeah. That is the California Air Resources Board, 16 members, none of them elected, 12 of them appointed by Gavin Newsom. This is what, you talk about a dictatorship? You talk about fascist? Newsom decides we're going to pay $5.50 a gallon? Yep, we're going to pay $5.50 a gallon. Because, and I think this was left over from Schwarzenegger, they passed a bill back in the mid-2000s that gave the California Air Resources Board all this authority. But in that bill, the legislature can override the California Air Resources Board, which is what they ought to do, except they don't care.
They don't care. In short, Newsom, the governor of California, appoints all his buddies to make a committee. They all get paid really, really well at our expense. They jack up gas prices. They're hurting the average person. You know, the guy that works at Burger King, I mean, you know, how many, okay, they raised minimum wage, but big deal because all these, you know, Burger Kings are closing down. Nobody can afford to pay $20 an hour to work at Burger King. But they need gas to go to work. I let my daughter borrow my truck. She gave it back real quick because her car is way better on gas. And she says, I like your truck, but I can't afford the gas. I said, I know. Now do you see why I just don't go out and go running back and forth? When I decide to go someplace, I go and I do a bunch of things that I need to do. And I get it over with because I don't want to give all my money to the gas stations. But they're going to, it's just tax. They're putting tax on it. Who gave them the right just to keep taxing us to death? Here, you want to top this? Check this out. Motorhomes, RV sales. They're banning RV sales in the state of California. A couple of other states, too. It's like, how ludicrous. These giant industry, the businesses, what are they going to do with all their employees and all the people that use these things and buy? I mean, it's recreational vehicles, but for God's sake, he's banning it in California. Don't believe me? Here you go.
Things are getting pretty crazy because California is banning the sale of motorhomes. Well, most of them. Pretty much everything besides your little tiny Class B like camper vans. And that's because they passed this thing called ACT, which is an Advanced Clean Trucks regulation, but somehow motorhomes got grouped up into it. And I helped build one of the first electric semi-trucks in America, the XOS ET1. And I've worked with hydrogen and electric semi-trucks basically since then. But to group motorhomes into medium-duty and heavy-duty vehicles is completely ridiculous because motorhomes are driven very infrequently. Medium and heavy-duty vehicles are driven lots and thousands of miles, but motorhomes are used recreationally. So I just have no idea what the California Air Resources Board is thinking on this one. And a few other states have actually followed in with it. And it includes like 5 states. I mean, this is going to be very damaging to the industry because it costs millions and millions, maybe billions of dollars to develop a hydrogen or electric vehicle from scratch that's a heavy-duty vehicle, because a lot of that stuff doesn't have off-the-shelf solutions. You have to develop all that stuff in-house.
Most people, not most people, drive their motorhomes less than 5,000 miles a year. You know, they get away for a couple of weekends here and there. They go on one trip, maybe 2 a year, you know, but they love having it because they enjoy it. I mean, especially in, like I said, California, Nevada, Utah, all these, you know, Grand Canyons, Arizonas, great places, the Dakotas. And it brings people a lot of pleasure. And this son of a bitch is he's ruining everybody. He's taking away everything. And if you already have one, they've already figured out how they're going to screw you on that too. They're going to make you smog it, or, you know, they're going to add taxes more, you know, for having the damn thing. One way or another, they're forcing you out. They're forcing you out. Just sucks. Pissed about this because this is what he's doing. This state, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And people are leaving in drones. And again, and you don't believe me, where are we? Here we go. I'll let him tell you.
He's done it again. That's right. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has led the way for the 4th time in a row. Matthew Oliver with a quick update for you, but you might not know this, but we have succeeded in the state of California with more one-way U-Haul rentals for the 4th straight year in a row than any other state in the entire nation. Now, that's a pretty awesome feat considering we're one of the best states in the nation. It's beautiful, it's lush. Except for when you talk to people who live here. But here's the deal. Gavin Newsom has led the way in people leaving the state of California. That is, except for one area, Placer County. And why has it succeeded in Placer? It's because we've said no to his corrupt, no good ideas in our county. We've stood up for the Constitution, we stood up for our rights, and we stood up for our freedoms. Remember, California, if you want change, you're gonna have to make a change.
1 million people a year are leaving California. This used to be the place where dreams were made of. You know, I mean, you go down to Hollywood, it's a shithole. It's always been kind of weird. I mean, Hollywood is a perception, and it's not really what you think it is. What you perceive it and see it on TV, you know, it's TV. That's all I can say. But you know, nonetheless, it's someplace different that most people don't have in their states and their cities, and it is Hollywood, even though Hollywood is dying. Warner Brothers is going broke. They're talking about moving to Nevada. It's like Warner Brothers is a staple. When you come into the valley from Hollywood into this Universal City, Studio City, North Hollywood, Toluca Lake, Burbank, Warner Brothers is right there. Universal Studios right there. It's an icon. And they're going broke. They're going broke. But meanwhile, our governor somehow or another has a lot of money to buy a really expensive house up in Marin County, and, you know, and on a $200,000 a year paycheck. And I know his wife makes money too, but the math doesn't add up. And here's this little young guy. It's like, this guy's pretty sharp for his age. Come on, Sonny, tell us about Governor Gavin Newsom.
This Governor Newsom purchasing a $9.1 million home in the Bay Area thing is turning into a real scandal, especially after the fact that it was discovered that the LLC that he used to purchase the home was created 2 days prior to the purchase, and the fact that he purchased it from a man named Daniel Pritzker. Now, on Sunday, this kind of raised suspicion in my own brain as I was reading the documents, because I thought, Pritzker, that sounds like the name of a political family, like J.B. Pritzker, who is the governor of Illinois. And it turns out that the man that Newsom purchased this house from was his cousin. Look at the cronyism, guys. There are literal receipts out there of J.B. Pritzker, the Pritzker family, donating to Gavin Newsom's political campaigns. So they are in bed together. And the price of the home is totally inflated. It is not worth $9.1 million. So there are some deals and some real shady deals going on here. And the property tax on this property alone is about $117,000 a year. How is Newsom affording that? The family reported a $1.2 million income in 2018. If you look at the tax returns, I think that's the most recent that I can find. How are they going to afford such a home and such a mortgage on that kind of money? And the LLC he used to purchase it, MHBD Farms, those letters are the first initials of each of his kids' names. Go on Newsom for POTUS.
I don't even know what a monthly mortgage on $9 million is. Well, I guess I could figure it out. It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, all you mortgage people with the calculators getting out there right now, tell me. All I'm saying is things are really fishy. All these people, all these government of people making way more money than their salaries. And you got to wonder how. You got to wonder how. And all this shit's got to stop. Or at least a lot of it's got to stop. And I'm telling you, new sheriff in town, daddy's home. And I think there's going to be a big crackdown. And you can say, yeah, he's going to do everything, but he's going to, except for his buddies and this and that. I beg to differ. And again, I'm not going to go around and around with you. You believe what you want to believe. Time will tell. We'll see. But I'm not having it. I'm sick over this stuff because people are struggling. People are struggling. Stores are closing down like crazy. I mean, iconic places. They've been robbed to death with all this smash and grabs and this and that. They've had enough. These drugstores, and you see it on TV, but it doesn't affect you. Well, it does affect you because things get more expensive. You won't have that store in your local neighborhood. I mean, here, this doesn't talk. This is no talking on this video, but it's going to show you right now. There's more stores getting ready to go out of business, closing stores, and they'll tell you how many of their stores they're closing. And this is the top 10. Here you go. CVS Pharmacy, over 300 stores. 99-cent store, 371 stores. Closed. 7-Eleven, 444 stores. Closed. Forever Blue 21 and 540 stores. Closed. Big Lots, that's up. And Auto Parts, closing 727 stores. Rite Aid, 800 stores. Closed. No gas stations. That's hard to believe. 1,000 locations closing. Family Dollar Tree. 1,000 locations closing. Malls are closing over 400 locations. Sucks. That's this year alone. All those stores closing throughout the country. I know. We have a 99-cent store not too far from where I lived. I was bummed when that place closed. I've been in LA or California. April will be 34 years. Believe me, my first few years, I lived in that 99-cent store. That was my go-to place before I'd go anywhere else. And kind of I got into that habit. I'd look for certain things, toothbrushes, whatever. I mean, toothbrush was 99 cents. It was a Colgate toothbrush, and at the store it was $3.49. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that, I'd rather take the one from the 99-cent store. How different is it? But anyway, everybody's closing. They can't afford to stay open because this country's gone wacko, and things are getting ready to change. All I can tell you. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Last chance. If you want to call in, you want to tell me something, whether you agree, disagree, maybe you want to bring something to my attention, now's the time to do it. We'll do it for 5 minutes, and then I'm out. unless we get a good phone call. But 818-259-7983. I really want to go back to phone calls. I do. I just want to do phone calls and let people tell me what's on their mind. But you got to start calling in, folks. And then maybe after the first of the year, maybe I'll change my direction a little bit. We'll have like a one show a month where it's just nothing but phone calls. I'll sit here. You tell me what's on your mind. But you got to pick up the phone. You got to call. 818-259-7983 is the number right here. Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. In the meantime, I will remind you, next week, Wednesday, November 27th, Thanksgiving Eve, I'm going to have Baltimore's own homeless whisperer, Pastor Ray Pollitt's going to be on this show. I love talking to him. He's just a giving human being who takes care of a lot of the homeless, especially during the wintertime over there in Baltimore, Maryland, which it snows. It's cold. And Baltimore's a rough city as it is. And he's out there braving it all and just, taking care of the helpless. So Wednesday, next week, Thanksgiving Eve, November 27th, Pastor Ray Pollitt, the homeless whisperer out of Baltimore, Maryland, going to be on this show. I just want to talk to him, catch up, see what's going on, how they're doing, all that. I think it'll be good. A Thanksgiving Eve, heartfelt Thanksgiving Eve with Pastor Ray Pollitt right here. I want you to join me. 818-259-7983. Last chance. I'm telling you, this has got to be the first show in God knows how long, not one single comment on my big screen in front of me, which is very strange, but it happens. Not one single comment, not a hey Peter, hey, somebody in the house. I know these things happen, but I know there's other people on all these other platforms because I can see them on all these other little monitors. 818-259-7983. 60 seconds more. That phone don't ring? Not a problem. Used to it. We'll do it again. I know a lot of people. I'm telling you, I have the greatest lurkers. People love to watch. And then they'll comment and write me, letters after the show, whatever it takes. But it's all good. I get it. A lot of people go, Peter, I wanted to call you, man, but I was kind of nervous. What's there to be nervous about? Come on. Just me and you and a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Come on. Be brave. Be brave. It's got to be something. I know there's things that that gripe you, that things that piss you off. I know there's things that you want to. Oh, look, we had a break in the scene. That's one. Here, I'll even put you up there. Yeah, Pensacola in the house. So what did I say? Okay, that's one. Did I wake you? Did I wake you up? Or is it better late than never, or you've been here? Anyway, again, I am grateful. I am truly grateful. But I bring these things to your attention because I want to help. I want to help somebody who's willing to pay attention. Somebody. Again, I'm not sure if this show is going to still be saved on the official Facebook Peter G Show page. If it's not, by the time we get through, we'll re-upload it. I apologize. And it sucks because it takes all the data away. I lose all the people that were watching. Normally there's, 400 to 500 people on that page or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that because it lets me know it's like, hey, these people took time out of their lives to watch the show live. And I lose it, but we will repost the show until we get that bug worked out. It's something with Facebook communicating. They changed their terms of service. Everybody's changing their terms of service. Last call, 818-259-7983. 30 seconds. Then we call it a day. Because I can. Anything else I want to talk about? I want you guys to start getting vocal over here. Start talking about things that you want to talk about. I think that these are things that you want to talk about, but you're just making me do it. I know it is. Because it's stuff it's important. It's your families, it's your livelihood. I know. All right. Not a problem. But I know, and I'm telling you, it's like when I do this show because I care about people. I do this show because these are topics and things that a lot of people, how many people voted for Trump and would not tell anybody that they're voting for Trump because they did not want to ruffle the waters. They did not want to make waves at their work or someplace. And I'm hearing these stories now that people are putting orange man signs in their front yard now after the fact. Like, people are finally saying, you know what? Screw it. It's what's right. We've gone down a bad road these past few years. And for those of you who think the opposite, cool. You're entitled to your opinion. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to tell you that, and I show you every week things that are showing why I feel the way I feel. And you still say, yeah, but still. It's okay. But again, I don't judge people for falling into this stuff. I don't. I'm here because I love people. I had a guy, he was being a smartass because one of my clips, it was saying, like, I do this because I love you. And this guy goes, do you love me? I knew he was being a smartass. And I happen to catch it. I don't catch everything. I can't. But, you know, I flip through things once in a while and I go, should I or shouldn't I? Go, yeah. And I answered him. I go, yeah, I do, dude. I go, I know you're being a smartass. I said, but I actually do care about people. I do. Maybe that's my flaw. Maybe that's why I'm not on top with Morning Joe Jerkoff. Maybe that's why I'm not at his level making his money, because I won't do and say the things that he says. But I'm okay with that. I've made it this far. I've lived this long, and longer than a lot of people. Had many great experiences too. A lot of things I can't tell you. But I've hurt nobody. So I do love you. I want to thank everybody for watching Life with Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday. I want to see you next Wednesday when we talk to Pastor Ray Pullett from Baltimore, Maryland, the homeless whisperer. Every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on that East Coast. And it is definitely God willing, if you only knew how much communication me and the big man have. I have to. It's a tough world. It's a tough show. But I thank you for watching. I do. I thank you for being part of this show. I do. I hope to see you here next week and every week. And if you can't, remember, please subscribe, share, and Google Peter G Show podcast. You can pull up the audio version, or you can watch any of the shows on demand on any one of these pages. I mean, they're there. So I know a lot of people say, yeah, I know, Peter, but I like to watch your show live. But let's face it, you're driving back and forth to work. What are you doing when you're driving back and forth to work? Listening to Led Zeppelin? Come on. I got a whole lot of information. Yeah, I got a whole lot of information. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't get any better than this, folks. I mean it. All right, listen. Again, thank you. I want everybody, I know it's rough out there, but be kind. And, gotta keep hitting my microphone. Be kind. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a lot of shit from people. You don't. And I know it's hard because everybody's butting heads thanks to these friggin' media outlets brainwashing people and making sure that we all stay divided. Get over it. We're all human beings, and we were all really good friends before they started dividing us. Let's get back to where we were, okay? Have positivity in your mind. Things are going to get better. I know you want to be able to say, nah, see, I told you, the orange man bad. We're going to have to give him a shot. Because there he is, and he's putting together the dream team, and they are bulls, and they are going to make a difference. They are going to rearrange everything, and that's what they're getting paid for. It's time to get aggressive and clean out all the shit in our government and all these agencies that have ruined us. So they're going to wreck the place, and then they're going to build it with people who are going to be, and they're going to thin it down. It's like weight loss. It's going to be a nice weight loss plan. All right? Have a little faith. Just have faith. What choice you got? You going to sit here and worry about it? I believe him. He wants to leave a legacy saying he made the greatest change in American history since George Washington. So I'm going to let him. Whether you like what I have to say or not, it's not me doing it. I'm just telling you, pay attention to what's going to be happening because it'll be for your benefit, regardless if you think we have the best of everything right now. I say nonsense. All right. Anyway, it's just that simple. I love you guys. See you next week. My name is Peter G, and peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.